Hi everyone. In this video, we are going to learn about the chapter Life Process, and this is the part 2. So in part 1, we have learned about the nutrition in plants, how the nutrition takes place in plants. So now in part 2, we are going to see how the nutrition takes place in human beings. So in part 2, we are going to cover what are the definitions and how the nutrition takes place in the human beings. So, ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation, digestion. We are going to see what are all those. And so now, before starting the lesson, I would like to explain the definitions of few terms like ingestion. So here ingestion is nothing but the process of taking the food or whatever we are going to eat it, that process we are going to call it as ingestion. So here the process of taking in food, drink or another substance into the body by swallowing or absorbing it. From where we are going to take? We are going to take the food from the mouth. Next term is digestion. It is one of the process where the large molecules of the food are broken into smaller molecules. So, the process of breakdown of large insoluble molecules into small water-soluble food molecules is known as digestion. And the next term is absorption. The process by which the products of the digestion are absorbed by the blood to be supplied to the rest of the body. So here, after digestion, whatever the soluble food molecules we are going to get, those are absorbed by the blood. So this we are going to call it as absorption. And here comes assimilation. So here assimilation is nothing but the process of synthesizing new compounds from the absorbed molecules. So whatever the absorbed molecules are there, from that substances there is a production of new substance, and that we are going to call it as assimilation. So here adhesion is nothing but the process of removing the waste material from the cell or an organism is called as adhesion. That is nothing but whatever the food which we have been taken, that is removed out from the body or a cell, and that process is called as what? Adhesion. So now we are going to jump to the part nutrition in human beings. In plants, what we learned that the nutrition in plant takes place by the main process called as photosynthesis. So in human being, how it's going to happen? That is nothing but, as I already told, that we are heterotrophs. We depend upon plants for our food. So whatever the food which we are going to take it, that should be digested by ourselves. Alimentary canal is nothing but a long tube from mouth to the end of the anus. The whole thing we are going to call it as alimentary canal. This whole thing and the parts which are involved in this, all those combiningly we are going to call it as alimentary canal. So now this alimentary canal has many regions or specialized regions to perform different functions. That means here we can see the mouth, and here we can see the esophagus, here liver and stomach, here pancreas, small intestine, large intestine, the anus. So all these things we are going to call it as the alimentary canal, and these parts are having their own functions in the nutrition. So now, as I said earlier, ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation, adhesion, all these are the things which are to be happen in this alimentary canal. So the alimentary canal, as I said, it involves all these parts. So mainly the nutrition in human beings involves all these processes, and everything are continuously happening. One is not happening, the other things are also not happening. So remember, these are connected to each other. So we are going to start. Actually, as I said earlier, the nutrition or the digestion starts from the mouth and it ends in the anus. So what all is going to happen in the middle of this, we are going to see now. So the first part where the human digestion takes place is nothing but the mouth. What's the work of the mouth? It should take the food which we are going to eat it, that should be taken from the mouth. As the process of taking the food, we are going to call it as ingestion, and we are going to take the food with the help of mouth. Right. Then, what are the parts present in the mouth? Teeth and tongue. Okay. Few salivary glands which are present in the mouth. So we'll go one by one. Let me come to the teeth. What's the work of teeth in ingestion or in digestion? The work of the teeth is that it's going to bite the food. The teeth are going to bite they are going to grind the food. They are going to chew or grind the food. So the food which we are going to eat it, they are going to break down the food or they are going to grind the food. That's the work of the teeth. Now coming to the tongue part. So whatever the food which we are going to eat it, that should be rolled here and there, right? You have to chew it, right? So rolling of food, tasting of food, swallowing, pushing down of the food all takes place with the help of the tongue. So whatever the food which you are going to taste it is sensed by the tongue itself, and the food should be moved inside and near the both sides of the jaws. So tongue helps in the movement and tasting of the food, and it also helps in pushing and swallowing down the food. This is the role of tongue in digestive system. So next, coming to the mouth part is having not only the teeth, tongue, and here you can see the below your jaws somewhere you are going to see like this glands. The glands are nothing but these are the things which produce the secretions. They release some secretions, so they are called as. So the glands which are present in the mouth area are nothing but salivary glands. So what's the work of the salivary glands? They secrete the saliva, and this saliva is nothing but an enzyme. Saliva is nothing but enzyme which helps in the digestion of the food. So the mouth also contains the mucus. So mucus is nothing but the sticky like substance or the jelly like substance which is present in the mouth, in a nasal cavity, and in some other parts of the body also. You are going to see this mucus. So the salivary glands, there are three types of salivary glands. They are the sublingual gland, submandibular gland, and parotid glands. So these three together called as salivary glands. So that's the work of the salivary glands. The main work of the salivary glands is nothing but they secrete the saliva, that is nothing but a liquid substance, and it is the salivary amylase. Actually the enzyme name is salivary amylase. They produce the enzyme called as salivary amylase, and mainly the food which we are going to eat it contains nutrients, as I said earlier, carbohydrates, fats, vitamins, right, proteins. So here here in mouth, you are going to see that the starch is going to broken down. Whenever we are going to grind the food which we are going to eat, that the food contains starch. So the starch is digested here, or it is broken down in the mouth with the help of this salivary amylase. So next, the digestive system, after the salivary mouth part, we are having another part, that is nothing but esophagus. So we are going to call esophagus as also the food pipe. We are going to call it as food pipe. We are going to call it as the food pipe too. So here, whatever the food which we ate, whatever the food which we are going to eat from the mouth, it comes to the food pipe. So this is nothing but esophagus, or it is called as food pipe. How it comes? So it comes by the peristaltic movement. Peristaltic movement is nothing but the contraction and relaxation movement of the food pipe. We are going to call it as peristaltic movements. So here you can see the movements, how they are going to happen. So here you can see the contraction muscles, and here the relaxed muscles. Then here you are going to see contracted muscles, relaxed muscles. So this green color thing is nothing but your food. So this movement of contraction and relaxation is nothing but peristaltic movement. Fine. After this, the food is going to enter into the stomach. So we are going to see the stomach. So this is your stomach part. Here, after the food enters into the stomach, it secretes the stomach lining. This we are going to call it as stomach lining. We are going to call this outer, we are going to call it as the stomach lining, right? So the food which entered into the stomach, in stomach we are going to see some gastric glands which secrete gastric juice. So here gastric juices are nothing but pepsin, HCl and the mucus. Pepsin, HCl and the mucus, these are the gastric juices which are produced by the gastric glands present in the stomach. So here, when the food enters here, the stomach lining secretes HCl. HCl is nothing but hydrochloric acid. HCl is nothing but hydrochloric acid, and this acid is released when the food enters into the stomach. So it releases. So when the food enters into the stomach, the hydrochloric acid is released by the stomach. This hydrochloric acid is concentrated more. So when the food enters into the stomach, HCl is released by the stomach. So this HCl is nothing but hydrochloric acid. So it is acid, it may harm the stomach linings. So to prevent this burning sensation or this harm, we are having mucus. Which prevents HCl to contact with the stomach linings. So when this HCl is secreted, we are going to, the pepsin which is also present in the stomach, what happens to the pepsin is nothing but it is going to break down the proteins which are present in the food. So the proteins are digested by the pepsin protein. They are going to digest the proteins which are present in the food. And coming to this HCl again, it makes the acidic medium. So So the food we can say is easily digested because of the HCl itself. And next, mucus, earlier I said, it protects the inner lining of the stomach. So when HCl is released, the contact between the HCl and the inner lining, or the acidity content or the burning sensation, is stopped with the help of this mucus itself. So next, after stomach, the food is going to enter into the small intestine. So this yellow color thing, whatever you are going to see, is nothing but small intestine. So this is nothing but the duodenum. Duodenum is nothing but the part where the stomach and the intestine is going to join. So this part we are going to call it as duodenum. So what happens? The small intestine is the site of complete digestion. So we can say that in small intestine, the complete digestion of the food particles is going to take place. So here all the carbohydrates, proteins and fats are completely digested. So what happens when the food enters into the small intestine? Here you are going to see the pancreas and the liver will be there. So these pancreas and liver, they are going to release some secretions into the small intestine, so that the food which is present in the small intestine is digested completely. Here we can say whatever the food digested is converted into glucose. Carbohydrates are going to convert it into glucose, and fats which is present in the food, they are going to convert it into fatty acid, and proteins into blood. All those are absorbed into the blood. So it receives the secretion of the liver and pancreas. As I said earlier, for the digestion of the food in the intestine, the pancreas and the liver, they are going to release some secretions. With that secretions, the food is digested completely. And now we are going to see how the movement of the food takes place in the small intestine is nothing but the small intestine has villi which help in the absorption of food into food. The movement, and also they are going to absorb the digested food. How the digestion? So here we are going to see the small intestine part, which I have been enlarged here. Here you are going to see the sectional part. This sectional part contains this part. So if you cut the small intestine, you are going to see these finger-like projections. These are the finger-like projections. We are going to call them as the villi. And if you take a single villi, you are going to see these sections. Right. So this is the structure of the villi, and villi helps in the absorption of the food. That is nothing but they absorb the glucose which we get from the food. So the food which is acidic made alkaline for the pancreatic enzymes to act. So the food which is acidic, because from the stomach the food is acidic in condition, as stomach secreted HCl, right? As stomach secreted HCl, the food is acidic in medium. So to make this medium alkaline is nothing but basic for the pancreatic enzymes to act. So this pancreas and as I said earlier, liver and pancreas, they secrete some enzymes so to the small intestine, so the food is going to become alkaline and digested easily. The pancreas secretes pancreatic juice which contains enzymes like trypsin for digesting proteins, lipase for digesting. Actually, it is not protein. Yeah, protein itself. So this pancreas releases an enzyme called as trypsin. So this trypsin helps in digesting the proteins, and there is one more enzyme called as lipase. It is going to break down the protein particles, right? So, and coming to this liver section, where the liver is going to produce a juice or enzyme called as bile salt. We are going to bile salt or bile juice. This is released to the intestine, again small intestine. So this bile juice, it is going to break down the fats which is present in the food which we are going to eat. So next part of the digestive system is large intestine. So this large intestine absorbs excess of water. So here we can see the small intestine. Here in this area we are going to see the small intestine, and this small intestine is connected to the large intestine. So the food is passed now to the large intestine, and what happens here, as I said earlier, in small intestine the food is completely digested. Okay, now the water content which is present in this digested food is absorbed by this large intestine. So absorbs excess of water. The unabsorbed food in small intestine is sent to the large intestine. The rest of the material is removed from the body via anus. So here what happens, the water content is absorbed by this large intestine, and the waste is going to removed from the body by the part called as anus. So we are going to call this whole part as the anus. So this exit of waste material is regulated by the anal sphincter. Sphincter is nothing but the hole, we can say. So you all know that anal sphincter, this is regulated, or the waste material is removed by the anal sphincter. And so these are the parts of the large intestine. This is the ascending colon, and this is it is coming down, so we are going to call it as descending colon, and this is in a horizontal way, so we are going to call it as transverse colon. So here ends the digestion in animals or the human beings. So this is about the nutrition in a human being. So in our next video we are going to learn about the respiration process in plants and the animals. Thank you.